To understand the soul, one must first understand the family. Lao Tzu. Why this family? Why these parents? Have you ever wondered why you were born into the family you have? Why do we experience love, pain, struggles, and warmth all within the same family? These questions may have crossed your mind, especially when family dynamics feel challenging. But what if I told you the answer lies not in random chance, but in something far deeper? Hello and welcome back to Son.Mindfulness. Today, we're going to explore a fascinating topic, one that many of us might not have thought about. Do our souls consciously choose our family before we are born? It might sound unbelievable, but according to Edgar Cayce, the famous sleeping prophet, each soul has a plan before rebirth. The soul's choice of family is not an accident, but a vital part of its spiritual journey. So why does this matter to you? Because through our family, we learn some of the most important lessons about forgiveness, patience, and spiritual growth. No matter how difficult our family circumstances may seem, these challenges are opportunities for the soul to evolve. In this video, we will explore why the soul chooses its family, how to see our family dynamics through a spiritual lens, and how you can learn from these relationships in your own life. Son.Mindfulness is a channel dedicated to sharing profound insights on personal development through Buddhist teachings and life lessons. We aim to bring you new perspectives on your spiritual journey, helping you find peace and happiness in life. If you find these insights valuable, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more meaningful content. Stay with us until the end of this video to discover more about the soul's journey through multiple lifetimes and why family is the chosen path for spiritual growth. You'll uncover interesting and profound insights within your own family relationships. Part 2: The Soul's Journey and Evolution Across Lifetimes. 1. What is the soul? Have you ever wondered what the soul truly is? In Buddhism, the soul is seen as an eternal essence, not bound by time or space. It carries infinite wisdom and light, always seeking to grow and evolve. The soul is the part of us that transcends the physical body and continues on a journey of learning through countless lifetimes. Imagine a river. Though the water flows and changes, the river remains constant. Similarly, the soul moves through many lives but remains the same at its core, learning and growing from each experience. 2. The soul's evolution through reincarnation. But how does this journey unfold? Buddhism teaches that the soul is on a continuous path of reincarnation. Each lifetime offers new opportunities for growth, wisdom, and understanding. In one life, the soul may experience wealth and comfort, while in another, it may face hardship and struggle. Take, for instance, General Yue Fei, a renowned warrior who struggled with anger in one life, only to be reborn to learn forgiveness and inner peace in the next. Just like him, each soul carefully chooses its next family, seeking the conditions it needs for spiritual evolution. Number 3. Edgar Cayce's theory of family choice. Why does the soul choose a particular family? Edgar Cayce believed that the soul consciously selects its family based on karmic bonds. If a soul has caused harm in a past life, it may choose a family where it will experience pain and betrayal, learning the consequences of its actions. This idea mirrors Buddhism, where every action creates karma. Our present choices shape our future lives, including the family into which we are born. For example, if someone has lived selfishly, they may find themselves born into a family facing financial struggles. This experience teaches the soul humility, generosity, and compassion. Through these challenges, the soul evolves, gaining deeper insight into the true nature of life. 4. Linking karma to family choice. How does karma affect the family we're born into? In both Buddhism and Cayce's teachings, karma plays a central role in shaping the soul's journey. The family environment is not random. It is part of a greater karmic plan. Our family reflects the unresolved issues and lessons from past lives. Consider the story of Sakyamuni Buddha. In one life, he was a prince who clung to his power and wealth. In his next life, he learned the lesson of renunciation and humility, teaching others about the true path to liberation. His soul chose circumstances in each life to further its spiritual growth, showing us that the soul's evolution depends on the lessons chosen for each incarnation. Part 3. The role of the mother and father in the soul's journey. Role of the mother in Buddhist philosophy and Casey's teachings. Have you ever wondered why the mother plays such a central role in the soul's journey? In Buddhism, the mother embodies compassion, nurturing, and unconditional love. She is the channel through which the soul enters the earthly realm. This is not just a biological process, but a deeply spiritual one. The mother holds the sacred responsibility of guiding the soul as it transitions from the spiritual world to the physical world. The connection between the mother and child is vital. It shapes the soul's first understanding of trust, acceptance, and love. This bond is much more than mere care or protection. It is where the soul learns its first lessons in compassion and forgiveness. The Buddha's own mother, Queen Maya, represents this nurturing quality. Her role in Siddhartha Gautama's life is often seen as symbolic of the compassionate embrace the mother offers her child, preparing the soul for its journey toward enlightenment. 2. Role of the father. What about the father? In both Buddhism and Casey's teachings, the father represents structure, discipline, and guidance. While the mother nurtures, it is the father who provides direction. He is the one who teaches the soul how to navigate life's challenges with strength, wisdom, and perseverance. In Buddhism, the father figure is essential for grounding the child in the material world. The Buddha's father, King Suddhodana, embodied the structure and protection of the royal life, though he was also the one who would keep his son sheltered from the suffering of the world. In a way, the father's role is to challenge the soul, pushing it to grow beyond its comfort zone. In this sense, the father's guidance helps the soul prepare for the inevitable trials it will face in life. 3. The interaction between parents and the soul. How does the soul experience life through both parental energies? When a soul chooses its family, it is not simply seeking comfort or stability. The soul selects parents who will offer it the specific lessons needed for its development. This choice reflects the soul's deeper spiritual needs. The mother's nurturing energy helps the soul develop empathy, compassion, and trust. The father's guiding force teaches resilience, discipline, and a sense of direction. Together, these two forces form the foundation upon which the soul builds its understanding of life. For example, a soul may choose to be born into a family where both parents offer starkly different energies. Perhaps the mother provides warmth and comfort, while the father challenges the soul with a demanding environment. This contrast can be difficult, but it offers the soul the perfect environment to develop strength and balance. Consider the famous historical figure, Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon's relationship with his parents was complex. His mother, Letizia, was nurturing but tough, while his father was distant, leaving him to rely on his own strength. This dynamic shaped Napoleon's personality, making him resilient and ambitious, yet also deeply sensitive to betrayal. His choice of parents helped him develop both compassion and strength, which were essential for his rise to power. 4. Illustrative example. Soul's choice of a loving versus challenging family. Imagine a soul choosing between two possible families. One family is filled with love, security, and peace. The other is full of conflict, hardship, and struggle. Which family would the soul choose? In a Buddhist context, we might say that the soul does not simply choose the easy path. It chooses the path that offers the most growth, even if it is filled with challenges. Consider the example of Thich Nhat Hanh, the famous Vietnamese Zen master. In his early life, he grew up in a country torn by war, witnessing immense suffering. Though he could have chosen a life of comfort, his soul chose a path of hardship and peace-building, leading him to become a teacher of mindfulness and compassion for the world. His experience of growing up in a troubled family shaped him, allowing him to embody the teachings of peace and understanding later in life. In this way, the soul's choice of family is not always based on comfort, but on what will allow it to grow spiritually. Each family, whether full of love or full of struggle, provides the soul with specific lessons that shape its spiritual evolution. As we consider the profound roles of the mother and father in guiding the soul through its journey, we see that the family environment is not merely a setting, but a spiritual training ground. The mother nurtures the soul's compassion, while the father provides the strength needed to face life's challenges. Together, they create the balance that allows the soul to grow. Now, let us explore karmic knots and the family choice, where the soul's past actions often lead to connections with family members that are both challenging and transformative. Part 4. Karmic Knots and the Family Choice 1. The concept of karmic knots. Have you ever wondered why certain family relationships feel like they've existed long before this life? In both Buddhist philosophy and Edgar Cayce's teachings, we encounter the idea of karmic knots. These knots are unresolved issues from past lives that the soul must return to and untangle. The soul often reincarnates into the same family or relationship to resolve lingering emotional wounds or unfinished business. Imagine a soul returning to the same family, where past wrongs or unhealed relationships are still present. These karmic knots serve as the key to spiritual evolution. They are not merely coincidences, but opportunities for growth. Through these challenging relationships, the soul learns lessons in forgiveness, compassion, and healing. In Buddhism, we speak of samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Karmic knots are the threads that bind the soul to unresolved emotions or unfinished lessons from previous lives. The family environment, often filled with both love and tension, becomes the ideal setting for the soul to complete this cycle. 2. Edgar Cayce's views on family relationships. Why does the soul return to a family where it experienced suffering? Edgar Cayce believed that family relationships often reflect conflicts from past lives that need resolution. These relationships may not always be harmonious. However, they are profound opportunities for the soul to grow. For example, a person who wronged another in a past life may find themselves born into a family where they experience the pain they once caused. This is not punishment, but a path to understanding. By experiencing the consequences of their actions, the soul gains deeper insight into the nature of love, responsibility, and empathy. Cayce also believed that the soul may return to the same family for reconciliation. A soul that has helped others in a past life might be reborn into a loving family, where it can continue its work of service and compassion. 3. Souls return to troubled families. Have you ever asked yourself why some souls choose to be born into families with significant challenges? Both Cayce and Buddhism teach that souls often choose to incarnate into difficult family dynamics. These families, filled with tension and struggle, provide the soul with the necessary challenges for spiritual growth. Consider the example of Mother Teresa, who was born into a humble family and later chose to dedicate her life to serving the poor and the sick. Her soul chose a path of immense suffering, not for punishment, but for spiritual growth, and to bring light into the darkness of others' lives. Similarly, souls may choose families with dysfunction, addiction, or conflict. These challenges provide the soul with opportunities to confront unresolved karma from past lives and make transformative choices. By facing and overcoming these challenges, the soul evolves spiritually, learning the most profound lessons of life. Before, changing karma through awareness. How can the soul change its karma? Cayce suggested that the key to transforming karma lies in awareness. When the soul becomes aware of its past actions, it gains the power to change its response to current challenges. Imagine someone growing up in a difficult family where there is constant conflict. Through understanding the nature of karma, they realize that this situation is not a punishment but an opportunity for spiritual growth. Instead of responding to aggression with anger or bitterness, they choose compassion and forgiveness. In doing so, they break the cycle of negativity and transform the family dynamic. This awareness doesn't change the past, but reshapes the present and future. By choosing to respond with wisdom and compassion, the soul can heal not only itself, but also the family environment. Number 5. Illustrative story. Consider the story of Lena, a woman who grew up in a family marked by verbal abuse and emotional neglect. For years, Lena felt trapped by the toxic dynamics that seemed to repeat themselves from generation to generation. But as she grew older, Lena began to explore her family's history, learning about the unresolved karma that had bound them together. Through understanding her soul's journey, Lena recognized that her family's pain was not meant to break her, but to help her grow. She learned to forgive her parents for their shortcomings and to heal the deep wounds within herself. By breaking the cycle of anger and resentment, Lena created a new path for her children, one that was filled with love, understanding, and compassion. Lena's story is an example of how karmic knots can be untangled. Her awareness of her soul's journey allowed her to change the course of her family's future, creating a legacy of healing and love. As we reflect on the concept of karmic knots and the family choice, we see that family relationships are not random. They are deeply intertwined with the soul's past actions and lessons. By becoming aware of these karmic connections, the soul has the power to heal, transform, and break free from negative cycles. Next, let us explore awakening and the meaning behind family choice, where the soul's path becomes clearer and the deeper purpose of family dynamics unfolds. Part 5. Awakening and the meaning behind family choice. 1. The concept of awakening in Buddhism. Have you ever wondered what it means to truly awaken? In Buddhism, awakening is the ultimate goal of the soul's journey. It is the realization of one's true nature, the ability to see life clearly without illusions or attachments. This awakening is not a single event, but a gradual process. Every challenge we face, including those presented by our family dynamics, is an opportunity for the soul to awaken. Is it not through adversity that we learn the most? Think of the Buddha, who, after encountering the suffering of the world, sought enlightenment. His journey teaches us that it is through life's difficulties that the soul discovers wisdom. The family environment, with its love, conflicts, and struggles, acts as a training ground for awakening. Every painful interaction, every unresolved issue, is a mirror reflecting the soul's need to grow. 2. The soul chooses not comfort, but growth. What if I told you the soul does not seek comfort? According to Edgar Cayce's teachings, the soul seeks growth, not ease. In every life, the soul chooses challenges that foster deep, spiritual growth. This growth often comes through difficult circumstances, through pain, loss, and conflict. Imagine a person born into a family where the parents are distant and emotionally unavailable. Is this a punishment, or is it a gift? In this family, the soul is called to develop virtues like patience, understanding, and compassion. These virtues are not easily earned. They are cultivated through experiences that test the soul's resolve. Think of Nelson Mandela, who spent years imprisoned under harsh conditions. Rather than becoming bitter, he chose to forgive and embrace reconciliation, ultimately becoming a global symbol of peace. Mandela's life illustrates that true growth often arises from the most challenging circumstances. The soul does not choose the easy road, but the one that leads to enlightenment. 3. The importance of acceptance and forgiveness. How can we accept the difficult circumstances we find ourselves in? Family challenges, though painful, are opportunities for transformation. In Buddhism, the practice of mindfulness helps us approach these challenges with clarity. It teaches us to accept our feelings rather than resist them. Through acceptance, we can begin to heal and grow. Forgiveness, too, is an essential part of the process. Imagine a person who has been deeply hurt by a family member. The natural reaction is often anger, resentment, or even withdrawal. But forgiveness is the key to unlocking peace. It is not about excusing the behavior, but about freeing the soul from the bonds of negativity. Take Aung San Suu Kyi, who, despite facing decades of oppression, embraced forgiveness as a means of healing. Her ability to forgive allowed her to move forward and lead her country with grace. In our own lives, forgiving those who have wronged us can transform not only our relationships, but also our souls. 4. Illustrative example. Let me share a story about John, a man who grew up in a family plagued by addiction and conflict. For years, he struggled with anger and resentment toward his parents. He felt abandoned and misunderstood, as though his pain was never acknowledged. However, John's spiritual journey led him to Buddhist teachings on mindfulness and compassion. As he meditated and practiced mindfulness, he began to see his parents through a different lens. Instead of focusing on their flaws, he saw their pain and struggles. He began to accept that they were also souls on a journey of growth. Through this acceptance, John found peace. He forgave his parents, and in doing so, he healed not only himself but also his family dynamics. By choosing to let go of resentment, John transformed his relationships and his own sense of peace. As we reflect on the awakening that occurs through family choice, we realize that every relationship is an opportunity for spiritual growth. The soul chooses not comfort, but challenges that lead to deeper wisdom. Acceptance and forgiveness are the keys to unlocking this wisdom. By embracing these practices, we move closer to our higher purpose and find peace in even the most difficult family dynamics. Now let us explore the conclusion, where we will reflect on how the journey of the soul through family ties leads to a deeper understanding of love, forgiveness, and transformation. Conclusion. As we conclude, let's reflect on the key points we've explored. We've learned that the soul consciously chooses its family for spiritual growth and karmic resolution. This idea challenges the common notion that our family dynamics are purely accidental. Instead, we've seen that even the most difficult family situations are part of the soul's learning process. The soul is not a victim of its circumstances. It is a student, seeking opportunities to grow and evolve. We also explored how the soul's return to the same family can be an opportunity to resolve past conflicts. The relationships within the family are not random, but deeply connected to past actions and unresolved karma. Through these family ties, the soul learns valuable lessons in forgiveness, patience, and love. No matter how challenging, each family relationship is an opportunity for spiritual growth. Have you ever considered your own family relationships through this lens? How often do we view our family members simply as biological connections? What if we saw them as karmic relationships, deeply connected to our soul's journey? Each family dynamic, whether smooth or challenging, offers unique lessons that help the soul evolve. Think about the lessons you have learned from your family. How have these relationships shaped your understanding of life and your spiritual growth? I invite you to reflect on your own family dynamics. Ask yourself, how can you approach your family challenges with a mindset of growth and understanding? Remember, it's not always the circumstances that define us, but how we respond to them. Forgiveness, acceptance, and love are the keys to transforming difficult family dynamics. By embracing these virtues, we can break free from past cycles of pain and find peace within ourselves. I am deeply grateful that you've taken the time to explore these teachings with me. It is my hope that you can carry these insights with you, applying them to your daily life for greater peace and spiritual growth. I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments below. What lessons have you learned from your own family relationships? How has your understanding of family dynamics changed after reflecting on these teachings? I would love to hear from you and continue this journey together. If you found this content valuable, please don't forget to subscribe to Son.Mindfulness and continue following for more insights. Thank you for your time, and may you always be healthy, peaceful, happy, and filled with good fortune. Remember, your family dynamics are not random. They are part of your soul's path toward awakening and growth. Embrace the lessons and let them guide you toward greater understanding and inner peace. Thank you.